Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin with breaking developments in the ongoing Middle East crisis, where Iran has rejected a United States proposal aimed at ending the conflict, insisting it will only agree to peace on its own terms. Iranian officials say Tehran has laid out 5 key conditions, including a complete halt to attacks, firm guarantees against future aggression, and compensation for war damages. Iran has also demanded recognition of its authority over the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, along with a full end to hostilities across all regional fronts. Despite this firm stance, Washington maintains that negotiations remain ongoing and productive, with Pakistan and Turkey emerging as potential venues for future talks. Meanwhile, tensions continue to rise as U.S. Central Command confirms a major military buildup across the Middle East. Troop levels have now surpassed 50,000, with the deployment including 2 aircraft carriers and more than 200 combat aircraft. U.S. officials say the surge is intended to counter ongoing threats to regional allies, but Iranian leadership has described the move as a direct escalation that undermines diplomatic efforts currently underway. In a further development, Israel has announced the seizure of a 19-mile security zone inside southern Lebanon, aimed at pushing back Iran-backed Hezbollah forces. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says military operations will continue until the threat to northern Israeli communities is eliminated and Iran's missile capabilities are neutralized. Israeli officials have also clarified that they are not part of the ongoing back-channel discussions between Washington and Tehran. The global energy market is also under severe strain as the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively restricted. Iran's foreign ministry has declared the passage closed to enemies while allowing access to what it calls friendly nations. However, reports indicate the waterway may have been mined with limpet devices, causing a dramatic drop in oil transit from 20 million barrels per day to less than 6 million. The disruption has sent global energy prices sharply higher, raising concerns about a broader economic impact. Back on the ground, a fresh wave of Iranian ballistic missile strikes has hit central Israel, causing significant structural damage in Tel Aviv and nearby areas. Emergency services are responding to multiple building collapses, with at least 4 casualties confirmed in the latest attack. In retaliation, the Israeli Air Force has carried out more than 50 strikes targeting sites in Esfahan and Tehran, focusing on missile production facilities and military command centers in an effort to halt further launches. We now turn to the diplomatic front, where Pakistan is playing a key role in mediating between the United States and Iran. For more on this, we go to our Islamabad correspondent, Sarah William.
Pakistan has positioned itself at the center of high-stakes diplomacy, acting as the primary back-channel between Washington and Tehran. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has stated that Pakistan is honored to facilitate dialogue aimed at preventing a wider regional conflict. Officials here are working closely with international partners to arrange a possible in-person summit in Islamabad. However, deep mistrust between the two sides continues to complicate efforts toward a formal ceasefire. Despite the challenges, diplomatic momentum remains active, with Pakistan urging restraint from all parties involved.
Thank you, Sarah. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a strong warning to Tehran, stating that the United States is prepared to unleash hell if a deal is not reached in the near future. The shift in tone comes after earlier claims from the president that major points of agreement had been achieved. The administration is now reportedly considering a $200 billion emergency funding request from the Pentagon to sustain military operations in the region, signaling a potentially prolonged phase of conflict if diplomacy fails. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.